Good evening, everybody. It's about time. It's a pleasure to see you participating today, and I extend a warm welcome to each one of you attending this webinar. I hope you have had a good start for the new year. And before we proceed, I would like to inform that this webinar is being recorded, and for those who cannot attend the entire session or wish to revisit the material, a recording will be made available for your convenience, and it will be at disposal tomorrow morning. And during this webinar, if you have any questions about today's topic, please write them in the chat. And today's focus is the sports supplements. We have a lot to cover today, so let's delve in. First, few words about me, if you don't know who I am. My name is Ville Isola, and I'm the director of Nordic Academy, and I will be your host today. And here's some basic info about me. I'm doing my PhD studies at the University of Jyväskylä, and I'm studying the fitness and bodybuilders in Finland. And I have done research since 2016. I hope you will learn something new today. So let's get started. But first, a few words about the Nordic Academy. What is it? It's an organization behind the IFBB, and we serve as a beacon for fitness and bodybuilding education in the Nordic region and beyond. And our courses are backed by IFBB, and our main goal and main focus is holistic wellness. We would like to think that everything is about the athlete-oriented coaching, and the holistic point of view is the most important thing about in coaching in fitness athletes and bodybuilders. And at the moment we have the flagship course, the personal trainer course, but this year we will have few other courses also, and this every month webinar for free to all participants is a mandatory for now. Okay, please let's try that our chat is working. So please write, where are you from? I want to know, is there people all around the world or just Nordic people here? So you can write it in chat. Yes, Norway, Finland, Estonia, Germany, nice. Estonia, Finland. Romania, hi there. Nice. Sweden. Okay, really good. And if you haven't been in our earlier webinar before, we have in every time we have different people in all around the world. So stay tuned for the next month's seminar and webinar also. Okay. So what is today's agenda? Sorry, there's a typo over there, but at the objective of the webinar, our objective today is looking what sports supplements are really working. And we start with that agenda, what truly matters, what are food supplements in general in the first place, and how do supplements work, and a few words about the doping risks in dietary supplements. And then the caveat, the beware of hype. Not all supplements works, and what supplements have strong scientific evidence of their effectiveness, and we will look a little closer about those supplements. And then few words about the pre-workout drinks, and then the questions you have made before this event, and at last the Q&A session today. Roughly a 1 hour webinar here, but please keep that chat alive. Please, if you have any questions, write it there or comments. So let's have a good conversation and webinar today. Okay. What truly matters? In sports nutrition, you need to understand the big picture. And the big picture is the first and the most important thing. And then when we start climbing these stairs up to this pyramid, the first and the most significant thing is to apprehending the nutrition plan and also the individual preferences, what we need to consider when we are talking about the sports nutrition. And then the energy balance and protein, and then the other macronutrients, micronutrients, flexibility, nutrient timing, and at last there's these supplements. They have the less significant impact in this big picture, but of course, when we are talking about the elite athlete, when every other aspects are already in good shape, as you can say it, so using the right supplements can give you the little edge to be the better athlete. Okay, what are the sports supplements? Food supplements or dietary supplements? They are the synonyms and they are meaning the same thing. In general, I think in United States, they're talking about the dietary supplements. And in Europe, in EU, we are talking about the food supplements. But they mean the same thing. So the food supplements are concentrated source of nutrients or other substances with a nutritional or psychological effect. They are marketed in dose forms such as pills, tablets, capsules, liquids, for example. And they may include vitamins, minerals, amino acids, essential fatty acids, fiber, plant and herbal extracts. And in general, typically, the purpose of the food supplements is correct nutritional deficiency, maintain adequate intake of certain nutrients, and support specific physiological functions. And the key point here is that they are not the medical products, and they cannot exert pharmacological, immunological, or metabolic action. And they are not intended to treat or prevent diseases or modify physiological functions. And here in Europe, all the food supplements are classified as and regulated as foods, and harmonized legislation for vitamins, minerals, and their sources. And there's specific rules for ingredients other than vitamins and minerals to ensure consumer safety. So, how these food supplements or sport supplements work? First, they either give us a stimulation of central or peripheral nervous system, just like caffeine, function as a neuromodulator, or There are augmentation of our energy reservoir or bioavailability. Substances like carbohydrates and creatine serve to increase the storage or availability of energy substrates. Also, provision of supplementary fuel sources like carbohydrates, for example, give us extra energy during workout. Also, the neutralization of performance impaired metabolic byproducts like beta-alanine serve to counteract or neutralize metabolites which may otherwise impair muscle function and overall performance. And also facilitation of post-exertion recovery and training effect potentiation. Nutrients like carbohydrates and protein function to expedite the recovery process and post-activity. So those are the main things how the supplements work. And when we are talking about the fitness athletes and the athletes in the IFBB, like some of you have noticed that there's a lot of doping usage in the World Championships in last year, for example. And I think the one reason for that is poor education. And always when we are talking about the sports supplements, we need to understand these doping risks in dietary supplements. So some dietary supplements may have a risk for the doping and positive test in doping control. And first of all, the WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency, it has this prohibited list in its website, which is updated annually. And you should always, when you have some food supplement or sports supplement, but you have both from the store, or before you are buying that food supplement, you should check that there is no substances in that food supplement which are listed in the prohibited list. Because when we are talking about the IFBB athlete, always the athlete is responsible for any positive doping test. And also this food supplements, it's a how can I say it? It's a little tricky thing about considering the WADA and these doping regulations, because there is no organization or there is no one who can say that this food supplements is 100% safe to use, and it doesn't give you any positive doping test. There are no such organization or such a who can say that, because there could be this contamination, for example, that those sports supplements are manufactured in the same line where they are manufacturing the medicine, and that's how the medicine can be found in that sports supplements. But I don't think in 2024 this is a really an issue, especially if you have that kind of sports supplement brand which have been several years in the business, and also those kind of brand which are from your country, which you trust. I think this is highly untrue and how do you say it? I need to unlikely. Sorry, highly unlikely. Yes. So, but still, what I want to say that always you need to be sure and you need to check the prohibited list, and always the athlete is responsible for the any positive doping tests. Okay. And before going to the supplements which actually work, I want to say that beware of hype and evaluate always the supplement claims, because not all supplements are supported by a robust scientific evidence. Examples with the limited or inclusively evidence is like Tripulus terrestris. This is pretty old sports supplement, and there is no good evidence about its effectiveness. Also, this OKG, ornithine alpha ketoglutarate, or carnitine, or CLA, or ATP, for example. Some supplements show potential benefits, but findings are often inconsistent. And there could be also the potential side effects like upset stomach of using those supplement. And also, I would say that advertising raises the red flags. The more promises made in the ad, the higher the likelihood of supplement being ineffective or containing even the banned substances. So beware and always look those kind of supplements and use those kind of supplements, what I recommend today. And I have this next slide, the most robust evidence and about their effectiveness in lean mass, fat loss, and etc. So here it is. What supplements actually work? Protein supplementation, especially as a recovery drink and before bedtime. Okay, you don't need to have before bedtime protein as a supplement. You can just eat high protein food and rich protein food, for example. And creatine, one of the most studied sports supplements. If you haven't used creatine yet, shame on you, and you should start using creatine right away. We will talk this a little bit later. Carbohydrate supplementation before, during, and after the exercise, and especially after the exercise, and also during the exercise if the exercise is longer than 1 hour. Essential amino acids, there's a strong evidence about their effectiveness, but we know that the protein is always better than essential amino acids. Like the whey protein always wins the essential amino acids supplement because there's some more amino acids in the whey protein, for example, like in versus than in the essential amino acids supplement. Beta-alanine, also good and effective supplement. Citrulline malate, and that is perhaps, I would say, that doesn't have that good evidence anymore, because there's a recent study which shows that those effects about the citron malate, it's not maybe that good as we thought like 2 years ago. And the last, caffeine, it's also one of the most studied sports supplement, and you should always use it to enhance your workouts, for example. But please note that I will talk about other supplements also during this webinar. Some new supplements which are so-called rising supplements right at the moment in the fitness and bodybuilding scene, I would say. But first, these supplements are the only supplements which have the most strongest scientific evidence of their effectiveness. And of course, it is always depending on how much money you can afford to these supplements, because nowadays these are pretty expensive. And like we saw during the COVID pandemic, for example, that the protein powder and its price climbed huge during the COVID pandemic, and using all these supplements, you can use pretty much and pretty lot of money during month if you are using all of these supplements. Sorry. Okay, let's talk about this protein supplementation, for example, and first, and the post-workout drink protein. There's only one study which shows that using protein as a post-workout drink gives you more benefit than using placebo. And of course, there's a lots of study about the protein and using enough amount protein, and it's and that correlation to the lean mass increasement and so on. But still, only one study which shows with trained people that when they are drinking the post-workout drink as protein or protein plus and also the carbohydrate, it will give more benefit to your lean muscle gain, for example. But still, this is a good study, and this kind of situation, like a body recompositioning, when you are burning fat and increasing muscle mass at the same time, it is highly beneficial that you are using this post-workout drink after your resistance training workout. And after that, 1 hour or 1 hour and a half, then you are going to eat the comprehensive meal, which includes all macronutrients, carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. And the guidance for the athlete using the post-workout drink, using the whey protein dosage from 20 to 50 grams of protein, and carbohydrate source like a maltodextrin or Vitargo, 0 to 50 grams, and creatine depending your body weight from 5 to 10 grams. And this protein amount at meal and how much you should consume protein during a meal. It's a hot topic right now. There was a good study published in December, Trommelin et al., which showed that even with 100 grams protein per meal, it will give you more benefit in the muscle protein synthesis. So we can forget that myth that you can only eat, or you should only eat 30 grams of protein because other amount are going, and the excessive amount are going into fat. That is not true. That Trommelin et al. Study show that even with the 100 grams of protein, you will get the benefit. But yes, that is another topic, that should you eat that much at the one meal. It's still good advice to divide your daily protein consumption 4 to 5 times per day, for example. But when we are talking about the post-workout drink, you really should start taking that. And that is the first supplement what I recommend for my athletes, for example. And the next comes the creatine. What is the creatine? The creatine was invented or showed to the world after the Barcelona and Atlanta Olympics in 92. At the Barcelona Olympics, the first usage of creatine was discovered during the Olympic athletes. And today, approximately 3 million kilograms are used creatine annually. So how creatine works? It possesses two main tasks. It will rise our body creatine levels, and when we have more creatine in our body, we have more energy during our workout, and especially in the resistance training workout, because the phosphocreatine, which is the energy source for the ATP, is the very fast acting energy source. So that is the one purpose, and the second purpose for the how the creatine works is that when the creatine levels are rising in our muscle, it will increase the pressure in our muscles, and then when there's more pressure in our muscles can generate more force. And yes, when the creatine is working, your body weight will increase, because when the creatine is going into the muscle, it takes along water, just like the carbohydrate is taking along 3 grams of water per 1 kilogram of glycogen when the carbohydrate is stored in our muscle and the liver. So same goes with the creatine, and that's why you shouldn't be worried about that that effect that your body weight is increasing when you start to taking creatine. And here's the Burke et al. Study published last year, which shows that when they are reviewing lots of studies and they're looking the main effects, the positive effect of creatine usage, in every study it shows that it is positive. So there is this kind of claim that there are non-responders to creatine benefits, but I haven't met that kind of people yet. So I would advise to start using the creatine and start monitoring that will it work for you. And so how to administration and how to take the creatine is you can take it in two manner. First is this traditional loading phase and followed by the maintenance. In first 5 days, you are implementing this loading phase and taking 20 grams of creatine daily, separated like in 4 per person. And then after that 5 days, you are taking 2 to 5 grams daily. And here's the graph from the study, which shows that when you are taking the creatine loading, like here, the most blue bar here shows that in 7 days, your creatine levels will increase in your muscles. Or you can start by taking daily 5 to 10 grams creatine. And why this 5 to 10 grams is the recommendation for the dosage is because the recommendation is 0.1 gram per body weight in kilograms. So you should use creatine. And here's some sentence from what I discovered from the Instagram. And I think this is a good way to say how important this creatine is. And also there's lots of study going on in other science than sports science at the moment with the creatine benefits. And there's a pretty promising results like how it affect in the skin health, for example, or even the mental health. So I think in a few years we know a little more about the creatine and its benefits. And then what is also good for you is the carbohydrate. And you can use carbohydrate during the workout and after the workout. Of course, before the workout, but I wouldn't recommend that before workout taking the carbohydrate because it could have and that kind of situation can happen that when you are taking the carbohydrate drink before your workout, your blood sugar level is rising too much and it gets and it will start to decrease when the body notify that there's a much blood sugar in the blood. So our pancreas is starting to making the insulin in our blood. So it could be that kind of situation that your blood level decreases too much, and that happens in right away when you start training. So that is not the most beneficial way to use and also you should aware about this when you are drinking the fast acting and fast absorptioning carbohydrate. It will increase your body blood sugar level pretty rapidly. But when you are drinking them during the workout, that workout will affect in that way that your blood levels and your blood sugar level doesn't increase that much. It only gives you energy in that workout. And after the workout, it is crucial to have carbohydrate to restore those glycogen what you have used during the workout. Does this make any sense? So there's this good study from 2022, King et al., which shows that using carbohydrate during the resistance training workout, it will give you, and it might give you a little benefit. Especially it will give you benefit if you have fasted more than 8 hours before the training. So in real life and in practice, what this means, that especially when you are working out during first thing in the morning, then you should have carbohydrate in your intra-workout drink, and that will give you benefit, and you will have more power and more strength in that training. But overall, when we are talking about the optimal training and the carbohydrate intake and the carbohydrate supplements, it's all about the sufficient carbohydrate intake. Okay. Next, the essential amino acids. Typically, essential amino acids are used during the workout as an intra-workout drink. And before we had these branched chain amino acids during the workout. And I remember this time that always I need to have branched chain amino acids and glutamine in intra-workout. Is that beneficial for the muscle growth? Not necessarily. And nowadays we know more. And we know that always the essential amino acids wins the BCAAs. So if you have BCAAs in your closet, you can give that to someone. If someone have to have that kind of drink, which tastes more like tastes better than plain water, because drinking the BCAAs doesn't give you any benefit in the context of fat loss or lean muscle mass. So do not waste your money in the branched chain amino acids, because there's only 3 amino acids and they are not enough for the muscle building, for example. Muscles need always those 9. And yes, it is better to use whey protein isolate, for example. So essential amino acids always wins the BCAAs, and the whey protein always wins the essential amino acids. So using the essential amino acids also, I wouldn't recommend to waste your money on that, because using the good whey protein isolate product and supplement is a better way always. Then the beta-alanine. You can take it in capsules or powder, mix it with liquid. And what is beta-alanine? It's linked to carnosine, dipeptide composed of histidine and beta-alanine. And what this beta-alanine does in our body, it will increase the carnosine level in our blood. And when the carnosine level is increased, it will buffers the hydrogen ions, which are attenuating which will affect in our muscles contraction, for example, in negative way. If we have lots of these hydrogen ions in our blood, our muscles doesn't contract as good. So this beta-alanine will buffers that. And you may have experience when you are doing like a drop set, superset, for example, or high volume training. You will have a pump when you are doing the bicep curl. You are having the pump, and it will start giving you a little bit pain, and that pain and that pump is a hint from increasement of these hydrogen ions in the muscles, and also the lactate. But that lactate is not the evil one here. It's these hydrogen ions, and this beta-alanine will buffers those. So in practice, it will gives you more resistance and endurance during your workout and during your sets. For example, it might give you 3 to 5 extra reps because it will buffers those negatively effectively affect hydrogen ions. And you should know that using this beta-alanine, it may cause this paresthesia, the tingling sensation in fingers, in your ears, or even nose. And then that can be managed by the dose adjustment, or it will go away roughly in 2 weeks. No, that doesn't mean that it will last 2 weeks, that tingling, but when you are taking the beta-alanine, and after the 15 or 30 minutes, you will start experiencing this tingling, and it will last roughly 15 to 30 minutes, or it will stop when you start training. And in 2 weeks, that will diminish that paresthesia. But, oh, sorry, I didn't give the dosage here. In this beta-alanine, it's the recommendation dosage. It's 3 grams per day. And also, you should take this beta-alanine like 2 to 4 weeks to have all the benefits. It will not give you the benefit right away. So this is good to know about the beta-alanine. And the last, one of the most studied supplement is caffeine. And we previously thought that you should stop drinking coffee if you want to have the effect of this caffeine during your workout. But nowadays we know that it will work when you are taking the caffeine. And it doesn't matter if you are drinking coffee daily. And when the caffeine is absorbed, it will take 30 to 90 minutes. So it is recommended to take 30 to 60 minutes before workout the caffeine. And sorry, there is a typo here. There is no doping alert. It was on the banned substances before, but it isn't at the moment. It's not. But the recommendation is highly individual, and you should try what gives you the best benefit and what dosage is best for you. Okay, so here are the summary about the evidence-based dosage guidelines for the dietary supplements in fitness and bodybuilding. Creatine, and this is also crucial. There's a lot of different forms about the creatine, and this creatine monohydrate is the best. It's the most cheapest one, and it is the best form which truly works. And those other forms of creatine, it may not work at all, because one way to be sure that the creatine is working is that when you discover that your body weight is increases during when you are taking the creatine, and that is a good thing. And that is not fat. What is increased, that is water, and that water goes to the muscle, so it isn't under your skin. So that doesn't give you edema look, for example. And yes, creatine, next one, you should, especially during the workout, you should try first like this mild dosage, like 20 grams, and then gradually increase and find it which works best for you. And this beta-alanine, 3 to 5 grams daily, and it will take 2 to 4 weeks to see the benefits. And caffeine, 5 to 6 milligrams of body weight. And another what I haven't talked you about at all is this omega-3s. 2 to 3 grams of EPA or DHA daily supports muscle recovery and brain health. And please note that this is pretty much, because when you are looking about the basic omega-3 supplement, it will show that there is like 160 milligrams of EPA and 180 milligrams of DHA. So to have 2 grams or even 3 grams, so-called 2,000 and 3,000 milligrams, you need to take much of that omega supplement. But for example, that doesn't show, but I have here what I've used, and what I use is this kind of supplement which contains 500 milligrams of EPA and 250 milligrams of DHA. So I don't need to take that much those capsules to have this 2 to 3 grams, which is recommended in fitness athletes and bodybuilders. Okay, so in overall, these pre-workout supplements are pretty common nowadays, and there's different ingredients typically in these pre-workout drinks, and there's info about one study which looked about the common ingredients, and there's this proprietary blend, for example, and in this study they showed that there's a benefits in acute use, the improved muscular endurance, running time to exhaustion, and also the power output. And when you are using chronically, it will increase strength, power output, and lean muscle mass, of course, because especially when there is this evidence-based and these supplements, what we know, what truly works. But using this kind of pre-workout supplements, be aware about those ingredients, and also you should check and you should know all the ingredients, what's involved in that pre-workout drink or supplement. Because if there's some ingredient what you don't know, so you cannot be sure is that, for example, in prohibited list. So before we start concluding this webinar, I will show you few common supplements and also these few rising supplements at the moment in the fitness and bodybuilding scene. First is this glutamine. This is a pretty old supplement, and will it give you more muscle mass? Not necessarily. There is no studies which shows that the using glutamine will increase your muscle mass. No, but there is a pretty good solid evidence about the positive effect on gut health. So using glutamine will increase your gut health, especially when you have had like antibiotics, and if you have some disease like a flu and you have taken antibiotics for that to cure that. So we know that using medicine will kill the health probiotics in our gut. So using the dairy and the lactic acid bacteria and glutamine, it might give you the health benefits in the gut. So, any questions so far? No one hasn't written anything in the chat, so I think this is really clear for you. Your questions. There was you had a chance to raise a question for me when you are entering and registration in this webinar. And there's this yombonine, chromium, and glutamine. And all of these, that's yombonine and chromium, doesn't show any real evidence of their effect in lean mass or fat loss, for example. And there was already talk about this glutamine. And another question was this collagen and enzyme supplementation. What is my opinion about that? It may be beneficial for joint health if you have like a accident and you have sore joints, for example. And then we know from the studies that eating or using the collagen protein, for example, it might give some benefit for the joint recovery and joint health, but it's not the best choice for the muscle building because this collagen protein doesn't contains that much amino acids, and its amino acids profile is not that good like in whey protein, for example. But in the context of increasing muscle mass and fat loss, you shouldn't waste your money in the collagen protein at all. And if you're concerned about your joint health, for example, then I recommend eat that kind of meat which contains collagen. So in that way, you will have those collagen proteins, for example. Hey, there's a good question about the nitrate. I will go into that. There's this. It will come. And supplement timing during both cuts and bulks, is there any difference? The general rule is that there's no differences on timing between cuts or bulk, and also it depends on the supplement, but in general I wouldn't say that there's this time specific matter when you are taking. Of course, let's talk about the creatine. It doesn't matter when you are taking the creatine, because it will rise your creatine levels in the body, even if you are taking it in the first in the morning. There was this some kind of talk a few years ago that you should take the creatine with carbohydrate, that it will increase the creatine absorption, but it will absorb totally when you are taking the creatine alone. So it highly depends, because, and of course, is there like caffeine, is there timing effect? Of course, you shouldn't take caffeine before going to bed. And there's this what I didn't talk about at all, is this caffeine effect to individuals, and how it might impair your sleep. So you should take that consideration also. That's a good question. What is the differences between phosphocreatine and creatine monohydrate? The phosphocreatine is the creatine which is in our muscles. Which is in our blood, in our body, and that is the phosphocreatine. So you cannot buy and take phosphocreatine, because when you are eating the creatine monohydrate, it will store in your body in phosphocreatine, and that is the difference. Good question. So here are the other interesting thing. Sorry that these slides were jumping in, I don't know how, but those your questions should be at the last, but they are not the last. So here's the other interesting supplement, is this nitrate, the beetroot juice. There's a few promising study about the benefits. It may reduce oxygen cost on maximal exercise, and then it's highly beneficial in endurance training, or it may improve high intensity exercise tolerance, cycling economy, and time trial performance. Also, more promising results from the endurance training and endurance sports is this beetroot juice. And one rising supplement is this turkesterone and other exogenous steroids. I don't know how to pronounce that, but you can read it. There's promising studies, in vitro studies, on human muscle fibers, and in vitro means that it has conducted in the lab outside of the human body, as well as also in the animal models, showing promising results of using this turkesterone in muscle mass and fat loss and increase in testosterone. But there's only one study which is done by in resistance trained males, and it doesn't show any effect. But I think we will we will see in a few years, and we will learn more about this, and especially if this will give you the benefit, I think it will be on the prohibited list, on the WADA's list. So I wouldn't recommend to use this, especially because we don't have enough studies about it. And then two two supplements regarding the recovery. First is this rhodiola rose, and this is pretty promising herb which have adaptogenic properties to help provide general resistance to stress. And the dosage of recommendation is 1,500 milligrams per day and another 500 milligrams before exercise. And it might help you manage your stress. So that could be a good supplement for that. Another supplement which can enhance your recovery is this ashwagandha, and this is crucial about ashwagandha that it should be this KSM 66 form, and that is the most studied and the most potential benefits are discovered with this compound. And this ashwagandha is showing really promising results, even two promising results in different studies. That, but I recommend you should try this. And does it give you any leverage or benefits on managing stress? But there's a pretty high benefits and lots of benefits what they are listed here. But yes, and it's good for both gender, this ashwagandha. I started this in last fall, and I think this is really helping in managing stress. Also, it could be placebo effect, but I'm continuing this. And now I haven't taken this in 2 months, and I just ordered this more, and it will. I will start again in next week, and then I see does it give me benefit in the managing stress. So, where you can find the good info about this nutrition and especially the supplements. I encourage you to go to examine.com, and this is the best source, and there you can find all evidence about the different supplements, and also the all info about this webinar is from the examine.com. So I highly recommend using this, and this is for athletes and also coaches, the daily tool where you can see that is there any studies about that supplement and also the promising results. So, what and how recommend supplements for the fitness athlete or bodybuilder? So, pre-workout stack here, beta-alanine, caffeine, and perhaps the citrulline malate. And during workout, if you want to have some more than water, it's the essential amino acids or whey protein and fast absorbing carbohydrate. And post-workout drink, protein, and of course also carbohydrate, if especially when you are on development season, and creatine also. And other possibly good for recovery is this ashwagandha, and of course the proper multivitamin, omega-3 and vitamin D, especially here in the Nordics in the winter season, because we don't get that much sun, and that's why our we are the risk in the vitamin D deficiency. So there's a good questions here, and you can write now if you have more, but I will start reading these questions. Is it true that creatine makes go often to the toilet? Is something that I'm having lately with 3 to 4 of water daily, but the problem is that I started to wake up night for toilet. Yes, good question. I don't think that is the creatine what is affecting that. It's more linked to the daily sodium intake, for example. Do you have enough sodium daily? Because if you doesn't have enough sodium daily, it will gives you that effect that you will have to go to the toilet during night because the excessive water goes out from the body. And when you increase the sodium intake, that water will be in the body even during the night. And yet, in that way, that could be linked to the creatine supplementation, especially in the loading phase, because that when the creatine is absorbing into the muscle, it will take more water. So it might give you some unbalanced sodium and water situation in your body, for example. But good question. But I don't think that the creatine is causing that. You should check your sodium intake first. And also, what about the creatine pyruvate? What is the differences when compared to monohydrate? Yes, that is a good question, and that is one of the second popular compound of creatine, this pyruvate form, and that form is usually doesn't work at all because they are advertising this creatine pyruvate, for example, in that way that using creatine pyruvate, it doesn't increase body weight at all. So when it doesn't increase your body weight at all, then you know that the creatine isn't working at all. So like I said, the best form of creatine is the monohydrate. The first form of creatine and the most studied one. And there's a good question about L-carnitine, that there's no good evidence yet that is effect. Are you aware of any studies on taking it by injection and effects on fat loss? Some people say that that is like the next best thing to taking banned substances. Yes, I have heard this also, that some people are implementing this. And I haven't seen any studies about that effect. And also, you should consider that when you are on the IFBB athlete, you shouldn't inject anything in your body because that is a banned method, and that will give you also 4-year banned from sports. So, but in physiological way, that is good question, and I would think that I would look that, and I will look that from examine.com. Is there any info about the injection of the L-carnitine? Yes. And talking of ashwagandha, another plant that I have seen is Tongat Ali, but pretty difficult to find quality extracts. Any thoughts? Yeah, I haven't heard that plant, but I think this is a rising thing in the sports supplement and sport nutrition in overall, this herb and effects of different herbs. But I talked with some manufacturer in last fall, the Finnish manufacturer of the sports supplements, and he said that there's a pretty big way to bring some plant or herb, for example, from the United States to Europe. It will take roughly a year or more to, or from China, to take one effective plant or herb and make it that all the license for that you can sell to customers. But I think this will rise in a few years, and there will be more herbs and plants available for us. Yes. Our electrolytes will benefit before and after workout. A good question. I wouldn't think. I would say that in resistance training, and when the resistance training lasts roughly 1 hour to 1.5 hour, there is no benefit using the electrolytes. But when we are talking about like a marathon runner, especially in a hot day in the summer, then the electrolytes will give you the benefit, and drinking them during the workout, and of course before, to have those in balance. And yes, there's ashwagandha is a good product, especially in competition prep. I highly recommend it. Yes, thank you for that comment. Okay, thank you for the good questions and your activity. And if you want to learn more about the nutrition, there's online courses in the IFBB Academy, and you can participate in any time and anywhere. Then there's 2 courses, the basic nutrition course and the advanced nutrition course, and that will give you the international certification for those. And so on. Okay, I managed to go a little bit late, but I hope that doesn't affect your day, your evening routines. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you have something new from this webinar. And please give me feedback. Show your phone to that QR, and then you can go and give feedback. And I have sent to your email already the link to the feedback. So please give me feedback so I can give you more and better webinars in future. But there will be once in a month. So thank you for your attention again, and I hope I will see you in next month in this webinar, and we will see what is the topic in that. Thank you for your attention, and this webinar is over.